Hi, good morning, good afternoon. My name is Nitin Wag from Karini AI. We are Databricks validated partner, and we are AWS Gen AI competency partner and AWS startup. So we're going to present RFP Genie, a pretty innovative solution, which is backed by generative AI on Databricks. Uh, Karini AI is a Gen AI foundation that sits on top of Databricks, offers a bunch of complementary offerings so that you can build use cases from your data on Databricks, um, and then manage and monitor entire life cycle of the applications. We are built on AWS, but we can also be deployed on Azure because we are a Kubernetes solution. So today we are going to show you the RFI or RFP GenAI powered solution called RFP Genie. RFIs can be very daunting task, requires extensive collaboration, and you need to be able to complete them faster at quality so that we can win over your competition. So let's see how generative AI can help. This is a quick architecture of the entire workflow. So you have an ingestion leg. We start with the UC volume, all the documents such as previous RFPs, technical question answers, and our project implementation and UC volume. We use the medallion architecture, OCR PII, OCR the data, of course not PI, OCR the data in the bronze table. This is a solution architecture of our RFP Genie. This is an ingestion leg where we have done technical documentations, previous RFQs, responses, as well as the project implementation document in your UC volume. It is OCR'd and turned into stored in the bronze table, which is a delta table. Then metadata extraction is done for fine-grained search on Databricks vector search. Embeddings are created and stored in a silver table, which is a delta table. And then finally, TrueSync knowledge base is created on using Databricks vector search. On the query side, user uploads a RFP document, they get an RFP response template, and then they can execute a bunch of these tasks using the graph workflow that I'm going to demonstrate deeply. This is entirely built on Databricks agentic workflow powered by Databricks model serving. Awesome. So let's switch to a demo.
Okay, so let's do a quick demo of Karini AI and the RFP Genie Copilot or chatbot. So I'm in a Karini platform where you can see a lot of the different ways to monitor your generative AI spend. This is, let's say, spend by Copilot. I'm gonna go to last month. Awesome. So you see the spend. Now to look at RFP Genie, I go to this Copilot tab, and then I click on RFP Genie. Now in the RFP Genie tab, you can upload a file, which is a RFQ document. I'm just gonna go to downloads, and this is the file. And I can say generate RFP template response so that AI can generate the response. Boom. Now I have the response template. Let's look at the RFP in place. Okay, this is a fictitious RFP, but and as you can see here, there's an answer generated, response generated. You can, of course, download it or open as a draft mode. And this is a pretty cool feature, which is the basis for this demo. Now, in the draft mode, you have executive summary, company overview. You have different sections that AI has generated for me to fill out that RFP. I'm just gonna pick few sections and show you the power of Gen AI. I'm gonna say executive summary, describe the company. Okay, and here you see there is a summary. I can accept the change. This is the change. And I come here, I delete this. And as you can see, this is the summary for Karini AI, entirely generated. You can also modify this if needed. I'm gonna turn off track changes. Okay, let's look at the relevant experience section. I look at this, I can say generate response. Awesome. So it gave you the responses for like 2 projects, a global retail chain from the knowledge base, and the second one is financial services platform. Okay. Now keep going. Let's look at Now let's look at some of the technical questions. We have this skill called generate and append. It should give you the answer. Okay, awesome. It looks like I'm not happy with this. This is too short. I'm gonna just say generate response. This sounds more like it. I can then add it, indent it, and now I have my answer. I'm just gonna go to the last skill, which is like conclusion, and I'm just gonna say, okay, provide me a conclusion. And here is the conclusion skill. There you go. Now I have the conclusion. That's too bold. I'm gonna make it down. Now you can see what usually takes probably a matter of few weeks with generative AI and the knowledge base on Databricks can be done within few days or maybe a matter of day. So super powerful stuff. Another skill I want to talk about is ask question. So let's say I've done all this. I want to just say like summarize this RFP. So this will invoke a question answer skill. Should get you the response. It gives me high level points for this RFP. Pretty handy. This is sort of a chatbot that sits on the side. So with that, let me show you how this sausage is made by giving you under the hood implementation. For the under the hood implementation, I click on the Copilot. I'm just going to discard the changes. Then action, edit export. And as you can see here, these are the chatbot settings. Can style, customize the feedback loop. But the important part is we have all these skills. As you can see, generate response has a default prompt. It takes default instructions and then hit agent that I'm going to show you behind the scene that actually powers this entire chatbot. So you have different skills here. You can place them in top navbar, right click, add conclusion, and you can entirely customize this chatbot for your business function. If you have one type of RFP, it can have certain type of sections and actions needed so that your business users do not have to think about prompt engineering, generative AI knowledge base. They just can function in the tools that they like to use, which is Microsoft Word. So with that, let's see the agent that we have built and that powers this. So for that, I go to the recipes, look at the recipes for knowledge graph. The first recipe is knowledge base recipe. I'm going to click that. And this is how I build the knowledge base using the documents in UC volume. I'll drag it here. So these are all the documents, case studies in the your UC volume in Databricks. I did a OCR, and as you can see, there's a bronze, silver, medallion architecture where we store OCR documents. This is where we store the chunks, chunking and embedding settings, and finally, Databricks vector search settings for when the index is created. Now, when I publish and run the recipe, you can also go back and check the links, and it'll show you the Databricks workspace and the job visibility, so you can exactly understand how this particular transformation has been generated within your Databricks workspace. Now let's look at the processing agentic recipe. Again, as you can see here, you can easily drag and drop all these controls into this canvas and then easily create this recipe without having to write any code. If you want to write like custom code, you can always use custom function and write Databricks function and then it for custom functionality, but you can get away with prompts for most part of it. So you start with a chat, you can add the history, you can add follow-up questions, etc. if that is what is needed. Then when a user uploads a document, it goes through a OCR chain, and then this is through Amazon Text Track, but you can select any other engine. And there is an agent between start and end, and that starts after the file is processed. And then we have this router node, which is very powerful. Now, this router node has three decisions. One is it can just answer the questions, which is what you saw in the chatbot. Second is it responds to RFP questions. And again, if you see, each of these are agents, and RFP questions are derived from this RFP knowledge base I was showing in the previous recipe, or there is a generator skill. So this is where I uploaded the initial RFP, and then it was able to generate a RFP response template that also uses the RFP knowledge base. I would like to conclude our demo. And AI drafting has many applications beyond RFP and RFI responses. It can be used for blog authoring with your private data, insurance underwriting, which is an active use case that we are working on, legal document review, and as well as news and media article. Wherever you need to do uh, document authoring, document review, document generation, this chatbot is going to be your help, and that's why it's RFP Genie. Thanks for the opportunity.